Now, as 1916 goes on, within Britain, the manpower is drying up, so they have to introduce conscription, but they don't introduce it in Ireland.
The costs greatly outweigh the benefits. There was always this air of possibility that conscription would be imposed on Ireland. And the nationalist point of view, I mean the Redmondite nationalist point of view was, well, you can't do it unless we have home rule, unless we have our own parliament and we vote for it and we say it then. But even, you know, without that, it's an imposition. And you're betraying the guarantee you gave us that we could run our own affairs. And it becomes an increasingly important issue in Irish politics. And after the Rising, Sinn Féin are able to take this up because in the spring of 1918, there's a really rather successful German offensive, the last fling of the Germans in the spring of 1918. And there's an enormous call for troops. What are we going to do? And the eyes turn to Ireland, and lots of corner boys and farm boys hanging about. You see, there'll be all these fellas, and it would be good to get them in the army because they'll be strong fighters, and it'll be good to get them out of Ireland because they're just hanging about making mischief. But it hits the nationalist movement suddenly very hard, and that you get a combination then of Sinn Féin, of the church, who are really worried about this kind of constant slaughter of the war, and the Redmondite nationalists, the remains of them. So there's a sort of pan-nationalist front which gets formed, and that provides more or less, I think, you know, above all else, the platform which produces the general election success in 1918, you know, the triumph of Sinn Féin, and indeed the kind of failure of the Redmondite nationalists. So in a way, war issues and war requirements as perceived in London imposed on Ireland have consequences which they didn't imagine it would.